Oh, we're going live?
We're going live. We are
wow.
going live. Hey, Star Wars fans, Rule the Galaxy friends. It's a different mix tonight. We're prepping for the 250th anniversary of the Independence Day, and we've got some fireworks going on here on the show already. But it is chapter 388 of the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. Like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, podcast platform of choice. You know where to follow us. It's Joe in the pilot seat. And we've got some great guests. One guy who's one of our usual co-hosts, who he and I have just not connected in the past month, I think. And two of our favorite guests that we have on from time to time are joining us tonight. So we'll just start this thing right from the get-go here. Chapter 388. I'm going to start it with my friend, my pal, my guy on the South Side who talks Australian rules football with me, Mr. Brent Dykman.
I was just watching the Carlton Blues blow out the the East Coast. We're the Eagles. We're the Eagles.
And the West Coast Eagles?
Yeah, the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah.
We're here to show you why. We're the big. Anyway, sorry.
We have a big Australian fan base, Brent. Big Australian
fan base. Right. So for those who don't know, they have fight songs like we have for colleges for their professional soccer team or their football teams. In Australian rules football, which they kick the football-shaped ball around and put through the white goalposts, and you have the guy come out and do that. If you've ever seen it,
which is good on YouTube, but not on the podcast. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
Finger guns. You just did finger. They do finger guns in Australia.
1,000%. There is a guy wearing a white hat, wearing an official's outfit, wearing a white, basically sombrero, but it's probably a fedora. And if it is through the center uprights, he comes out and does double finger guns, and that is a 6-point goal.
There we go.
6-point goal.
A little bit.
I thought the Carlton Blues were what the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's cousin sings.
Right. That's a totally different Carlton Blues. Yeah.
That's more jazz hands than finger guns.
When he can't dance.
It's unusual to be loved by anyone.
And if you're on YouTube with us, you're seeing Joe dance, Brent do finger guns. Right. It's all fun and games here on the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. You doing okay, Brent, before we start?
Good. I'm doing good. So just a little update. Like I sent Joe and everybody a message. We put on there's a group of guys that play this little nerdy game that I call Star Wars Legion, as well as there's also Warhammer, which I've started to get into, in Age of Sigmar, yada yada yada. There are multiple of these tabletop miniature games, and once you go down the rabbit hole, forever it's a small step into a larger world, I believe is what did we say. And this summer, this is the 4th year we've done it, but this first time we've gone and expanded and went into a hotel. We had about 200 individuals, 70 of which playing Star Wars Legion. I sent a picture of some of the prize support. One guy we know printed up several different lightsabers to go to the top of every faction. So they had the Luke saber that they gave to the Rebels. They had a Inquisitor, the bladed, double-bladed, without blades on them, but double-bladed. And they had our boy. They had the Dooku's lightsaber hilts. That they give out to the CIS players. But yeah, so it was a good time. It was a long weekend. So got there at let's say 7 o'clock in the morning and didn't leave till 9 or 10 o'clock in the evening on Saturday and Sunday. But it was a good time was had by all. So that's what I've got. That's what I've had going on. Other than that, it's summer and my schedule has changed because I have time for my kids and all of that other stuff. So I just haven't been really available. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about the wars, and I love being on with the South Georgia Mafia.
The Southern Rim, if you will.
Southern Rim podcast. 2/3 of the Southern Rim podcast.
This is the first time I've actually got to be on as a representative of the Southern Rim, so I'm excited to be joining Steve in that representation.
I'm still trying to figure out how I got in on this thing. I don't even know what's going on.
We hogtied you and dragged you in. That's what we did. That's what we do in the South.
That's kind of the running gag of Rule the Galaxy. None of us know what's going on. We're just here.
Never.
So yeah. So the first individual you heard right there, for those of you who don't listen to us all the time, and why aren't you? That's
exactly.
Mr. Michael Nip, or as he's going by Mikey
It's
on his.
my podcast name, Mikey. Yes,
Give it to Mikey. He'll eat it.
that's
He
He
exactly
likes it.
right. He likes it exactly
Hey,
right. Yeah.
Mikey.
No, very excited. This is the first time I've been on since my new podcast venture, which is Cinema Debrief. So still movies. My new co-host Garrison Rifen and I talk about old movies and new movies. So it's a movie podcast.
When you say old movies,
Yeah.
Wait a second.
are we
Yeah.
talking 90s or are we talking like the old noir talkies?
Let's see. 2 episodes ago, we covered the 1927 The King of Kings film.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, we talk about some old movies.
Yeah, we are. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly.
So let me make sure I understand it. It's 2 white guys talking about movies.
Exactly.
This is like no other podcast on the internet.
It's like no other podcast on the internet at all.
But he does have Garrison Rifen. And what does
Yes.
Garrison Rifen sound like again, Steve? I forget.
I'm Garrison Rifen.
There we go. Thank you.
That's
Just
right.
need to
That's
get
right.
that in. I know
Exactly.
Scott will enjoy that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Mikey, so glad
Yes.
to have you with us, and we're going to talk movies with you because I want to hear
yeah.
some feedback. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure you're seeing some of the movies that I'm considering seeing or that
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
recently seen. So I want to hear your feedback on it. But
Great.
I'm going to throw it over to the king of the Goliverse, Geek Out Loud host extraordinaire, Mr. Steve Glosson. How you doing, Steve?
I don't know that I can be called the host of Geek Out Loud anymore.
I see a
don't.
question mark on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, like what? What even is Geek Out Loud? It's a dream. It's a memory. It's a
Oh,
faded
no.
flower. It's
No. Don't say that.
it's dead.
No,
Well,
it's not. Don't say that.
Don't say that. Don't
Nothing's
say that.
ever dead.
That's
No
right.
one's ever truly dead.
Yeah.
Nobody ever
Exactly.
dies. Really dies.
Sometimes dead is better.
Well,
All right, Kylo Ren.
Well, that was isn't that from Pet Cemetery?
oh
Yeah, that's
gosh.
from Pet Sim, but
Sometimes dead
it's a
is
Star
better.
Wars podcast, so
Oh.
let the past die. The Kylo
Well,
Ren thing. Yeah.
Here's what let me just kind of just jump in on this thing. Number one, I've not seen anything current in I don't know ever. I did see Masters of the Universe, so if we're ready to talk about Masters of the Universe,
That's pretty current, Steve.
I would like to hear your review
I
of
mean,
it.
that's
Yes, we'll
pretty
do
current.
that.
I mean,
but I will say this: I just was thinking about this the other day, and by the other day, I mean about 20 minutes ago. Um, I don't know if there's a better moment in cinema. The movie, in retrospect, has a lot of issues with me, but I don't know that there's a better moment in cinema than Captain America tightening the strap on that broken shield, ready to just stand. I mean, facing down the armies of Thanos. You don't know if Iron Man is coming to or not. Thor, was almost run through with the axe, and Cap just has the look of determination, and he's gonna do it all himself. Like he's going to literally fight to the death. The look on his face is, "I will die trying," and then on your left. And those
are you
portals
saying
open
that
up.
because that's your determination to continue the Goliverse? You're going to die trying to continue the
No.
Goliverse?
No, I'm just saying I really thought that was cool. And then when you compare that to
Whoa! Look at that!
that's nice. That's nice.
Oh wow!
Oh wow.
Dang!
When you when you compare that to
For the
si-
podcast listener, he's holding up a Captain America shield.
that's true. I guess I should see. I'm not good at this anymore. I forget about the audio side of things.
That's right. Audio, video.
I forget that people can't see what I'm seeing. But then when you get to a movie that the writer / producers saw Endgame and said, let's just do that. And I'm of course referring to The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
When number one, there's that moment at the very end of Endgame where he says, I'm inevitable, and Iron Man says, and I am Iron Man. When he's all like, I am all the Sith, she's like, and I am all the Jedi, is what she should say. I mean, because they already did that. But the moment where Poe is like, I'm sorry, my friends, we failed. And then all of a sudden, Lando comes over and he's like, "No, Poe, we're all here, all of us." And there's that great shot with all the ships flying, and it is a great moment. Understand, it's a great moment in a lackluster trilogy.
Mhm.
But how they saw Endgame and said, "Let's do that with Star Wars," but instead of having Poe be like, "My friends, they're not coming, but we will fight till we have nothing left." He's just like, "Oh, we failed. We're such losers," And then, but if he like, I don't know. I was just like, golly, they just didn't quite. They got it, but they
Right.
just missed the mark. It just makes me sad. So that's the last thing I want to say about the sequel trilogy. Outside of that, I will say I finally, in my unpacking process of my office, which is still going on,
We can tell.
I finally got my Ewok village put together.
Nice.
nice.
And I've got Ewoks on it, and I'm so happy about that. It just brings me such happiness to look across the way and see an Ewok village packed with Ewoks and the battle wagon being erected next to it. So,
Did
battle
you get
wagon.
it completed?
I love the
Did you
battle
get the
wagon.
battle wagon completed, Steve?
I've had the battle wagon since I was a child. Yeah.
Well, weren't you missing some pieces at one point? Like you were.
What I was missing, what I needed completed was this bad boy here. This is the indoor security scout. And basically, I just had a friend of mine 3D print me a gun that I needed to stick on the side. So, because you're not going to find pieces for this thing, if you find this thing at all, it's hundreds of dollars for that little piece of plastic, which I never knew as a kid. I've had that since I was a kid, and I wasn't thinking this is going to be worth a ton of money one day. I just thought, well, this is pretty neat. I wish that would have been in the movie. And so, it's a toy for crying out loud.
For crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I think we've got an all-star cast tonight. I'm really appreciative of all three of you joining me. We usually go on like Thursday nights, but Thursday nights have been a dark, deep place where none of us can go anymore on the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. It's been
just like the Geek Out Loud podcast.
Yes, it fell into the chasm Thursday night. So I was like, you know what? With the holiday coming up, and basically Friday, I'm off Friday, and Thursday's kind of a throwaway day because let's face it, the day before you go into a holiday, you kind of throw that day away. Anyway, I was like, Thursday's not going to work. So let's just move this around and see what happens. So thank you for being a part of it. I'm going to do a quick show and tell, if you guys don't mind. My love and affection for Y-Wings. I was able to get the Micro Squadron Captain Rex
Nice.
Bad Batch Y-Wing, which fantastic. It's beautiful. So I've got that visually. If you're checking out YouTube, you'll be able to see that. I'm getting ready to open this bad dude here, the titanium diecast Y-Wing.
Oh, that's old school.
Yeah.
I can't stand them being in packages. I want to get it out. I want to see it. I want to have it on my shelf. And last but not least, I mentioned it on a recent podcast, but for years and years, I thought that I'd lost the album.
Nice.
I thought it was gone. So all I had was the CD of Christmas in the Stars.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, my baby brother let me know that in his closet at home, he
Look at
had
that.
Oh, wow.
1980 album of Christmas in the
Look
Stars.
at that.
I cannot wait to put it on my daughter's record player and check that out. It was like coming home week. When he gave that to me, I was like, this is I thought it was gone. Yeah.
Featuring the vocal stylings of one John Bon Jovi.
Correct. Yeah. So,
Millie Bobby Brown's father-in-law.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The future, maybe Princess Leia and something, right? Maybe. I don't know.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, she only works for Netflix, apparently.
Really? Okay.
She's got a contract with them because that's every movie she's got coming out is Netflix.
Anything I've ever really seen of her recently has been her and Jimmy Fallon. I think they must have a really good friendship because he's always on Jimmy Fallon, it seems like. So, Steve, you mentioned it earlier. We'll just jump into this and we'll cut the cord on this to start. It doesn't sound like you've seen The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I didn't get to see it. No.
Brent, have you seen it? You've seen it. Yes, we saw it together. Gosh, Michael Nip, I'm sure you have seen it, but have you talked about it on your show at all?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because we talk about whatever is new each week. We go and see everything. So I mean, we talked about it briefly on my show. Um, I thought that there were issues with the film, but anytime that Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder were on the screen as Din Djarin, I loved it. I mean, Lateef Crowder did some of the best stunt work that he's ever done, and the fight sequences and the fight choreography. And Brendan Wayne was full swagger up on that screen. And so there was some great stuff about the Mandalorian and Grogu. I didn't necessarily dig the story. It just felt like I was watching the Clone Wars animated film. Like it was an unnecessary thing that needed to be. It didn't need to be in theaters. Basically, it's kind of how I felt about it. But it benefited from being in theaters because we got better special effects. We got really just great stuff that you can only get in a theatrical experience. I saw it for the first time ever in a format called 4DX. I just have always chosen not to go to that particular format because it's the one where the seats shake.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm just not a fan of all that. But my situation was weird, and I wanted to see that movie. It was my niece's high school graduation. It was out of town. And I have never missed a premiere date for a Star Wars film. And so I took off work so I could drive up north, see the movie before her graduation. And I was by myself, which was weird. Like I'm usually with a group of guys and we go see the Star Wars films together. It was really strange seeing a Star Wars film with nobody that in there. The theater was full, but it was just strange because I was sort of like solo seeing the film, and I don't like the seat shaking. I'm too old for that. My back's too bad, and I was not having a good time with it.
Oh my lord!
I need to have you on
When
an
you
episode
say-
of those guys.
Yeah.
When you say seat shaking, was it like
Yeah.
vibrating or was it
No,
like
no.
a ride?
It's like a ride. You're like going
Oh.
all over the place in that thing. I mean,
I don't need that in a movie.
No, and you can't turn it off because I asked one of the employees, "Can I turn the seat off?" And she said, "No, all you can do is turn it down." And even at the lowest setting, it still just shakes you all over the place. Luckily, they don't utilize what I've heard some of the other ones do, which is to spray water at you and stuff. This particular theater in North Alabama did not have that at all. So I was happy about that. I didn't need to feel like I was at Disney World while I was watching the movie. So maybe I was a bit distracted as I was watching it, but I still enjoyed it for what it was, even though it's a hot mess.
Who directed it? Did Favreau or Filoni direct it?
It is a Favreau directed film.
Okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
I just, there's a lot of talk about Filoni and what he's doing with Star Wars, and
Right.
I like Filoni. I've always liked Filoni. I've always thought obviously he sat at the feet of George to learn Star Wars, but I wonder if he is the man to be making movies and stuff. Or I mean, I think sometimes he gets caught in almost a mystery box type storytelling. I think he's very patient with the way he wants to tell stories, especially in his animated stuff. And I just wonder if maybe when it comes to the filmmaking side of things, they need to be outsourcing some of that as much as possible. I don't know. I don't know if that's part of the problem. But knowing that Favreau directed, I don't know. That's interesting because I would, Favreau's usually pretty solid.
But Favreau also was the one who said, "I'm not sure we need to make this into a movie."
There was an interview where he said that. And it's weird that is a weird thing to say as you're marketing your movie that's in theaters. I don't understand sometimes it's better to just shut up with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, so I do want to get to Steve's. I do want to get a feedback on Masters of the Universe because it is something I'm considering going to see. But I will say with Steve Glosson, the founder of Geek Out Loud, the person who's got stories.
We're really
galore,
hammering that in tonight.
Have we come to a certain point in Star Wars though, to where a person with your fandom and background and everything, Steve, doesn't go see it? I mean, it just seems weird overall.
Yeah. What was the release date on that movie?
Oh gosh, I don't
May.
May
Was it in
the
May?
25th. I don't know.
I don't think it's May 25th.
It was May something.
It was right before Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
So it was like the 19th or 20th.
Yeah, the
wasn't it?
19th. It was close. It was something
May
like
19th. Well, here's May 22nd
There you
is
go.
when it was in
that. That was
theaters.
close.
So here's the thing. In December, Steve made a move to a place where now you have to drive 30 minutes
Mm.
to get to a movie theater. And so Steve's an old man these days, and we've had look, I don't like it when people go on podcasts about, well, life is happening and there's just life, guys.
Right.
I can't stand that. But we have had a healthy dose of life since we moved down here, back down to South Georgia, and I just was not able to get to it before it left theaters in this area. So it wasn't that I did not want to see it; it's that there were just things that took precedent over going to see a movie, and and so I love The Mandalorian as far as the concept, and I think I'm one of the few people who's kind of a defender of season 3 even.
Big Lizzo fan, huh?
Well, no, not all of season 3. I don't even think Jack Black should have been in season 3. But as far as the overall arc of the season, the way it ends with the big battle with the Imperials on Mandalore and all that other stuff, like I'm actually pro all of that. But when so I was not opposed to this movie. I was looking forward to this movie. I like jacked up Rada, from the trailer, and I just didn't get to it. And so you may say my Star Wars credit has gone down. I haven't sat and watched Maul Shadow Lord yet, though I've heard wonderful things about it. And I'm looking forward to watching it because I think it's been spoiled that there's a confrontation in there that we've only ever seen in the comics. So, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm, so as soon as it's streaming or available to even purchase physical media, I think I'm going back to starting to purchase physical media again.
Oh, that you're speaking such goodness into these ears.
Yeah,
I love physical media.
I do too. I've realized how much I just enjoy it.
It is a slippery slope. So only go to flea markets and thrift shops and stuff if you're going to start a collection.
I've got a collection. I mean, I've got some VHS tapes. I've got my DVDs and Blu-rays that I've had all this time. I don't get rid. My problem is I don't get rid of anything. I've got a crate back here full of action figures that I'm not going to display. Ever. I'm not going to do anything with them.
But you're not getting rid of them.
I'm not getting rid of them.
Of course, you can't get rid of them.
Right. And so
I've put in my will that my family has to bury all my stuff with me. So they're going to have to get a huge casket. They're going to have to get a massive. I don't know what they're going to do.
But when I used to have all of my DVDs and stuff on display in my house and everything, and when I was wed, my wife did not like the look of it in the living room, and so I moved it out of the living room. But then I got lazy because it's easy to get things digitally, and just buy them on iTunes or Amazon or whatever. And but in the past, I don't know, 8 months, I've been like, you know what? This is stupid. I need to be able to go over to my shelf and pull out this Blu-ray or this DVD at the very least, and plug that mess in, because look, I've even got, Audible that you're always supposed to own your audiobooks. I went back to look for an audiobook the other day and it's no longer available. And I bought it. I purchased it. So, they'll do that to you. They'll do that mess. So
it's been happening a lot lately. It's at the PlayStation Store. They decided not to renew the license for several of the movies that they previously had the license for. So people's movies were just out of their collection that they had purchased. So I'm a huge proponent for physical media, but also I fully understand that it takes up room. I mean,
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
you've got the room,
Well,
then
I'm
do
not
it.
interested. I'm not interested in a collection per se. Just what I like,
Well,
just the stuff
I
that I
am.
like. So.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
but see, that's you. My collection consists of plastic.
yeah,
Um.
yeah. You're right.
So
Yep.
action figures and such.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of the big things that we do on Cinema Debrief. Since we're talking about physical media, one of the segments, as far as us watching old media, is called Off the Shelf. And the reason it's called Off the Shelf is we're pulling movies off of our personal collection that we've never seen.
Nice.
Because Garrison and I both have a sickness that we buy every movie that we possibly can, mostly stuff that we're at least interested in, and never get around to watching it. And so we're using the podcast as an excuse to watch these movies that we own on physical media that we've never watched before. So
yeah, I stopped doing that a long time ago because I'm just like,
no,
I
get it.
don't need movies that I'll never watch.
Yeah,
Brent,
well, that's the thing. Now we are watching them because we've got a
Good.
segment on our podcast that we're watching them. So
Speaking of physical media, maybe not the same realm, but Brent, did you think 5 or 6 years ago that you would have part of a room filled up with Star Wars Legion
5 years
material?
ago, yes, because that's when I started. But
Okay.
6 years ago, no. But,
nice.
6 years, I did not think that my world would be in the world that I am in right now. But yeah, the whole physical media thing makes me laugh because that is not a bug that got into me, just like the toy time.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sitting here, and as if you're watching, those that are watching YouTube, I'm sitting here assembling models, right? So I'm doing model building, which is just something that I do to keep myself occupied. I paint the models too. But yeah, to go back to a couple things, though. In my time with talking to Steve, so we've been acquaintances through this medium for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
I think everything that I know about you is you would love Mall Shadow Warrior.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Like everything that I know about you and then the conversations that we've had, I think that is right up Steve's alley. Yeah. Now, the next question I have for you is, how much Hut culture do you want to be exposed to?
Oh, you get some Hut in Mando.
In Mando, you get a lot of Hut culture.
You get more Hut than you'd want.
Do you get? Now listen, this is going to be for my real old school fans.
Oh goodness!
Do you get more Hut culture than what we got in Dark Forces back in the day on the PC?
Ooh!
When you actually went to Nal Hutta and were going through the sewers of Nal Hutta?
I would say it's equal. I would say it's equal. Yeah.
It's just it was my way to throw the joke in there. Really?
No, that's a lot of.
I've seen some memes and stuff and some art and everything that seems like it's more than just Rada that shows up, I guess.
Oh yeah, sure.
It depends on how closely you look to the side rooms and how many.
Yeah, basically you're in a Hut brothel at some points in time.
Yeah,
now see, and here's why that's weird.
It's weird anyway. It doesn't matter. It's weird.
Okay. But here's why I find that weird, because back in the day, when Clone Wars first came out, Dave Filoni said that Hutts were basically asexual, and they even reproduced asexually.
Right, they bud or whatever. There's like budding.
I don't like that word, Brent.
Budding.
Not in the term of Hutts and everything.
I just don't like the word. It's like moist. I just don't. It's not a.
I'm sorry to bring the words into the thing, but that's interesting to me. That's odd, and see. Okay, let's just go on.
Yeah, let's just move on.
I don't need to get hung up on something. There has been. Let's do it this way. There has been an obsession in Star Wars fandom and even storytelling, borderline obsession with the underworld of it all.
Yeah.
And I mean, right down to what Lucas talked about he was originally going to do with this series that would be too dark, et cetera, et cetera. And it seems like they're always always trying. It is the let's kill Superman of Star Wars. In Superman films after Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, the greatest Superman movie of all time, after the death of Superman took place in the comics, because that was such a big event,
Right.
anyone doing Superman movies were always trying to fast track to that death of Superman stuff, and we saw Snyder actually do it
Yeah.
in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And I feel like it's the same kind of borderline obsession with Star Wars writers and fandom. Let's get into the underworld as much as possible. Let's make Star Wars gritty and all that stuff. They succeeded, kind of, with Andor a little bit. And by succeeded, I mean they got to do it, but I don't know.
I think they did it well.
I mean, that's again matter of personal preference.
Just subjective.
What you want out of Star Wars.
Sure.
I think Star Wars doesn't have to be seedy. I think that the seediness of Star Wars can stay in places like Jabba's palace and the cantina on Tatooine, and you understand what's going on without being shown the full breadth of it. When you in Empire, when you have the one Imperial officer say to the other, bounty hunters, we don't need their scum. And he turns around and there's Bossk just standing down there growling at him. You know that all of those dudes are bad dudes. And there's a reason that not just Boba Fett, but every single one of those characters captured the imagination for some reason. There's a reason that, that even the cantina, that obviously nothing had been seen like that necessarily on screen, because there was such a commitment to not doing it B-movie style, 1950s Doctor Who B-movie kind of style. They tried to make it real as possible. And so people were just blown away by all the crazy creatures in there, in the words of Bill Murray. Can you believe all the crazy creatures in there? Jabba's palace, the same way. It gets made fun of. It's just a bunch of Muppets. But man, that's an even seedier place than the cantina, Mos Eisley Spaceport. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy until you go to Jabba's palace. And so I just think that when you're having a hut brothel,
it's not a good
having not seen it,
I
just feel like it's not needed in Star Wars.
I don't know if it's a hut brothel, but it is. It's just.
Brent's writing his fanfic over here.
Yeah.
No, I'm not writing the fanfic. It was there. Joe's the one who put the word brothel into it.
That's true. Joe did use the word brothel.
It was sleeping chambers. How about that?
Yes.
Now if they're sleeping, that's different.
But I will.
They weren't sleeping.
Without giving too much, they do go to the hut. This is on Hut Homeworld, right? So
this is on Nal Hutta. Yeah,
it is.
So they are on Nal Hutta. So that is a CD player,
and it looks, it does look great. Like the production design is. That's what I mean about like the theatrical. Sure, they could have just thrown this thing on Disney Plus, but you wouldn't have gotten to feel the scope of it like you did from a theatrical standpoint. And they did a really great job with the production design of the film. It looks good for the most part, and so that I appreciate that effort. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't just throw it on Disney Plus, like I'm sure some people probably in the company wanted them to. I mean, it sounds like maybe Jon Favreau wanted them to just put it on Disney Plus, but and financially. Sure, it didn't do great financially, but I think that it does still capture the twinkle in the eye of a little kid seeing a movie on a big screen. And there was kids that were in my screening that were oohing and awing and loving everything they saw, and that's all that matters to me. I don't care if it didn't make all the money in the world. And same with Masters of the Universe. I mean, it didn't make all the money in the world, but man, that was one of the best looking films I've seen in a while. Travis Knight is just a pro at just like Bumblebee. I loved his Bumblebee, and he did a great job with Masters of the Universe. No, it's not like there's purists out there that are complaining about it didn't do this and didn't do that, but it looked great, and it was a fun movie. I mean, it really was. They may have
just what movies are supposed to be, right?
They went a little too hard on some of the the jokes where they could have pulled back a little bit on the humor because it did cut the tension sometimes, and I get tired of that. I call that the Thor Love and Thunder syndrome, where they just
it's the Thor Ragnarok. That began in Thor Ragnarok.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying Love and Thunder because Love and Thunder didn't do it well. I think that Masters of the Universe didn't do it well sometimes. If they would just pull back just a little bit on the humor, But man, it looked great on the big screen. I mean, the colors
It
were
sounded
vibrant.
great.
And I would the starship scenes, like when they're this fly, like some of the stuff just looks so good in that movie. And I hope it does get a sequel. I don't know. I've heard that Jeff Bezos is a huge fan of Masters of the Universe, and so he's the man with the money. So maybe it will get a sequel, even though it didn't do great financially. Who knows? I don't know.
There's talk and rumors, of course, you know how that goes. That Prime just may stream it, may just do a streaming movie.
I mean, it could be
released straight to streaming.
Yeah,
I want to springboard off what you said there, and I'm sorry, Mikey and I are taking up the whole.
I know
podcast
this isn't the.
Brent and I
Steve
like to
Mikey
listen
show.
sometimes. It's okay.
Brent, are you working on a Star Wars model or Warhammer?
This is Warhammer right now because Warhammer just dropped their 11th edition, and I was gifted some plastic by people, and it's just like every other drug dealer, just a taste.
Yeah,
gave me a taste.
Are those
Let the
models?
spice flow.
I saw you holding up the sprues earlier with them. Are they snapped together? Or do you have to glue them together?
Oh no, they are glue. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how this one sits together.
You know who's a big Warhammer fan, don't you?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, he wants there to be a movie or something on Prime. There's going to be something on Prime eventually.
You talking about the Highlander himself?
Superman, Highlander, Sherlock Holmes, whatever you want to call him.
Warhammer themselves have a community, a streaming option, and I think they were looking at trying to also work on it with them.
Yeah. I hope it happens because I know he loves that stuff, and so his passion for it should shine through in whatever he puts out there. But
not only all that other stuff, but isn't he a possible next James Bond as well?
He's aged out of it now. I think they're going to go a little bit younger. They're going to go somebody in their probably young 20s, early 30s, maybe something like that. But we'll see.
I always thought there was something about Bond that was good when you had a distinguished gentleman, who
I know
had a little age in him.
I'm totally with you on that.
That's just for the Sean.
Yeah.
Who was by far the best Bond, but
Connery was the best Bond.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's moments.
I think. Look, if we're going to go Bond, look, I've still got to go back to Masters of the Universe, and I need some information.
Go ahead.
We're going to be here for 4 hours, guys.
Marathon.
Welcome to Geek Out Loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get that question mark out of there.
Let's get the 800 number out there. Start taking some Geek Out Loud calls.
The thing that Connery does so well as Bond is he is smooth, but he's also manly. Like he's also very much like you believe he'll slap a woman to calm her down. Not that you need to do that, but he's rough around the edges, I should say.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I mourn the fact that we only got one movie with George Lazenby. I think George Lazenby would have been a wonderful Bond movie forward.
That is That is my least favorite Bond movie.
Oh, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is fantastic.
I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. I think that Roger Moore owned it for so long, like it's almost his, but Pierce Brosnan was inspired casting. And
they've all had their good moments. Yeah.
And I feel terrible for Timothy Dalton because they were trying to make the movies a little bit grittier with him, 90s grittier, late 80s, early 90s grittier. But still, and I think that he didn't get a fair shake from fans and moviegoers. But anyhow, back to Masters of the Universe. Joey, where was He-Man on your radar back in the day? So, right. Brent, was that
before I grew up in so I watched He-Man. Like it wasn't necessarily, it was Saturday morning cartoons, they were still on. Mm-hmm. I was probably in the 3 to 4-ish range.
Okay.
Bought almost every toy that you could imagine. Never played with them, right? Not like the Man-at-Arms, the guy whose face spun around multiple times.
Manny Faces is his name.
Sure. Yeah. The Bumblebee guy.
That's Buzz Off. Yeah.
And you had Skeletor.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So and then I've watched the Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie.
Absolutely.
Who hasn't?
Absolutely.
I
wonderful
wanted
movie.
Gwildor in this new one so bad.
Shut your mouth. You shut your mouth,
I
Mikey.
did. I wanted Gwildor.
Are you not a fan of him? He was one of my favorite characters.
It's the key. We have to get the cosmic key.
I love that. I don't know.
I
He
love it
just
so
added
much.
he was a little bit more of like a comic relief-ish, I believe.
I pre-ordered the 4K that's coming out, of course.
The thing is with the 87,
Yeah.
Frank Langella
Dude.
stole the show. I mean,
Yes,
like
he did.
there's no getting over that.
Yeah.
As a kid, and here's the thing, like it was in my perfect wheelhouse because it was an afternoon show. It came on weekdays,
Mm-hmm.
and I would get home from school, and there'd be reruns of Scooby-Doo on, and then right after that, when they kicked into the new stuff, your Masters, your Transformers, your G.I. Joe, and Masters of the Universe was required viewing for me. I Am Adam, Prince of Eternia, and it's just like, come on, here we go. I loved He-Man, and I loved the toys. Now, there came a time in my childhood life where my mom's like, look, something's got to go. It's got to be Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, or He-Man. We can't keep doing all of these things.
Unfair. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I wasn't going to get rid of Star Wars, and I wasn't going to get rid of Transformers. And so it came down to like G.I. Joe and He-Man. And G.I. Joe took up less space, and I was able to get more of those little guys, I guess. I don't know. But I just said, we'll do away with He-Man. I don't know what my decision was in that. And I mourn that loss in my life because I love the fact that Mattel was, hey, I just saw a spider outside. Let's make a bad guy that's like a spider. We'll call him, I don't know, Web Store. Web Store.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's these two guys. There's a guy that has two heads. Let's call him Too Bad. And it's just like, and every one of those characters, the action figure especially, just had something that would just capture your imagination as a kid. And the mingling of sword and sorcery and science fiction, whereas Star Wars has that fantasy aspect, but it leans more into the sci-fi. This leaned more into the fantasy, but still had the sci-fi. And so it was just the perfect thing. And I remember as a kid being really excited for the Masters of the Universe movie back then and being disappointed that there wasn't much that I recognized from either the toy line or the cartoon on the screen. And I think that as a kid, because it was in my wheelhouse. And that's the thing about this particular movie now, is this movie was made for people my age. This movie was not made to bring kids in. This movie was not made to bring a general audience in. This is a movie that was firmly directed at people my age. That's why the jokes about the names and everything are put in there, because let them be named Fisto. Just let him be named Ram Man. Don't have this is what I called you as a kid. Like, I didn't care for that, because what you're doing is you're saying, we know this is really stupid. It wasn't stupid when you were a kid, but we know this is stupid now. So we're going to make this something he said as a kid. Because you were a kid and you thought these were cool names.
You've got to take, if you're going to make a He-Man movie, you've got to take the subject matter seriously and not act like you're in on the joke on the screen.
Right. Yeah. But then you have subtle moments when he's sitting in traffic and the car pulls up next to him and it starts playing What's Going On. Because there's that whole meme in that video with He-Man singing, hey. And I thought, that's pretty funny. That's good.
There was some good stuff in it.
But Skeletor, Jared Leto he's a loose cannon to me, and I never know if I'm going to like him or dislike him in anything. And he understood the assignment as Skeletor.
Love him or hate him.
And the script was there. The alliterative insults, you bumbling buffoon, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's right out of the cartoon. And it was done not tongue in cheek. It was done like, this is really this guy's speech pattern. This is how he is. But he's also a little intimidating. He's also a little scary. And I thought he was great. I don't like the death of Moss Man. I thought that was kind of weird and like,
Spoiler alert.
Sorry,
Poor
I don't
Mo-
like
poor
making
Moss
anyone's. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, I agree with you. The visuals were great, and the fact that they got Brian May to play on a track, like to bring the Flash Gordon and
Yeah, to have
Highlander vibes
Queen.
in,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
it was
then they
pretty
even
amazing.
do Queen at one point, the needle
do,
drop
yeah.
with Princess of the Universe and everything.
Yep.
It I had a good time with it, and there was so much that I as a fan saw that they brought into this film,
Mhm.
right down to the design of Snake Mountain, Castle Grayskull, the transformation. There was so much good. There was language that I didn't think needed to be in it. I mean, if I can
Yeah.
be a little prudish, because it's like,
No, you're right.
you don't need this, because this would, at the end of He-Man, he would say, in today's story, we learned that you don't
Right.
always have to cuss to get your point across.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there was a
The
lot
ki-
of yeah.
the
He-Man's
character-
definitely not Italian then. That's
Yeah,
okay.
the character designs all worked for me. But then, like the codas that they had at the end,
oh yeah,
man, the one was again right out of Filmation. It was right out of a Filmation animation cell,
it looked great. Yeah.
and it's like, after the way that particular property was, can I use the word bastardized, on Netflix several years ago?
Ooh, yeah.
And I don't mean the Masters of the Universe. I'm talking about the She-Ra franchise, not the Masters of the Universe franchise.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kevin Smith one. Okay.
No.
I was going to ask you how you felt about the Kevin Smith reboot.
Man, on my old podcast that I used to do called Geek Out Loud.
Stop it.
I've heard of that place. Yeah.
My whole
podcast.
Yeah, back in the day, I was an early adopter, and I just fell out terrible. I'm a terrible podcaster. My shtick was always be's positive. Be positive as you can be. Let's not bring a ton of negativity. Be honest, but strive for positivity. Don't just say something sucks. When I watched the first half of that show, and really the whole first part of that season, where basically Adam's dead, and they're just, I'm just like, he said he did this for the fans, but there was nothing for my fan. This was Kevin Smith saying, I'm going to do Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe. And I got on, and I was very upset. I was very ticked off. And I had people saying, just wait, it's not over, blah, blah, blah. The second half, I was cool with. I really,
they brought it. Yeah, they brought it around. Yeah.
And there are things in there I don't like. I don't necessarily like the Techno Church, because again, that's so Kevin Smith with the Catholic jokes, the religion jokes. And then there's some other innuendo type things that were here that were in the Masters of the Universe movie that I didn't like, because what you're doing is you're saying, look how stupid this sounds. Look how this is my mind. My mind's in the gutter, and this is where I go. So but that one was a mixed bag to me, because I think it had more of a 2000X He-Man feel than the 1980s He-Man feel, which I love the 2000X stuff. I thought that was a great reboot, with more serialized storytelling and stuff. And so
that was the one on Cartoon Network, right?
Absolutely, it was on Cartoon Network. Yeah, Toonami.
Right. Yeah,
and then I love it. I love that there's entire things that you guys were into, and it's really only because, pardon me, I'm 3 or 4 years older than all of you, right?
Well,
Joey got married when he was 17 and has 15 kids, so that's what all his.
You're not far off.
You're talking about my dad, I think. Yeah,
he's Italian. I come to you on the day of your daughter's.
No time for silliness.
Thank you, Godfather, for inviting me to your daughter's wedding. I hope their first child is a masculine child. But here's the thing: this is all born out of. Well, number one, that is a very specific era of a needle to thread. Like you have to be, you had to be, 4 or 5 to 8 or 9 to really dig that cartoon and everything. It was very specific. The other cartoons, He-Man was good, but the other G.I. Joe was a little more mature as a cartoon. Nowhere near as mature as what the comic was. Same thing with Transformers. As silly as the concepts were sometimes, Like I think of G.I. Joe, Dr. Mindbender. I don't know if y'all guys know who Dr. Mindbender is.
Yeah.
This was a doctor who has a monocle, shaved head,
Yep.
mustache, ripped body, shirtless with a cape. And as a kid, you just received that and accepted
Yeah,
for
you did.
G.I. Joe, you know.
Yeah, you did.
But He-Man was a very specific kind of thing. And again, the comics that came with the toys were much different than the cartoon. The artwork evoked something much deeper than even the Filmation cartoon did. But it was just the right thing at the right time for a right generation of kids.
Yep.
But had there been no Star Wars,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know that. And I know that He-Man's kind of spun out of Mattel's attempt to do a Conan line, but
Yeah, I
Conan,
mean, yeah.
the Barbarian
Yeah.
line. But
Yeah.
but without Star Wars, you don't get that fantasy / sci-fi stuff, you know, because
Mhm.
everyone was chasing that Star Wars thing,
Mhm.
even into the 80s. No matter what you say, the thing about Star Wars is you can look, you can see things like Brave Star and Galaxy Rangers and uh, good Lord, Ukla the Mock. Which one was that? Thundar the Barbarian. You
Thundar the
know, Ukla the
Barbarian,
Mock
right.
is Chewbacca, and they are fighting with lightsabers on that show. You know,
Right.
and so they're chasing this, and you end up having a few places that kind of hit the mark. And that's why G.I. Joe went from just being straight military to sci-fi military. Like, you know, there's a lot of science fiction in G.I. Joe. Transformers, you know, they're from outer space, they're doing their thing, but there's that human aspect to them, and 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 there's a little bit of grit to it, the way that there was Star Wars. So yeah, I don't know that I would have dug He-Man so much had I not been Star Wars is my first love when it comes to geekdom always, you know.
Yeah.
So Star Wars first love, but I will also say, I mean, I played with He-Man, I watched him. But there was something that captured my attention and my imagination with G.I. Joe. Cobra. I mean, like, I could sit and watch all, like, I read back when you could still, like, when Netflix was mail order.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, right back in my day when I had to mail to get the G.I. Joes, I got like the whole lineup of G.I. Joes and sat down and watched it for like 3 weeks or whatever to get through all of the G.I. Joe episodes.
Back in the day when the full season of G.I. Joe was like $60 to buy, you know, now you can buy the whole series. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's got some girth to this. This thing is a little heavy. The titanium.
It's metal.
Better out of the package.
Yeah, love it out of the package. It's gonna look good on the shelf behind me.
Yeah,
for the non-viewers, I'm showing the titanium Y-wing that I just
that's
opened
right.
up.
You got to paint a picture, Joe.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe had some creepy cartoons. There was one where Shipwreck was like a hostage in a hostage situation.
He was like they psychedelic. They drugged him.
Yeah,
and he was living in a they put him into a like a suburban environment, and he was no longer Shipwreck.
Right.
And Deep Six had to come and save his ass.
Yeah,
I love this.
And then you get into G.I. Joe the movie.
God, that's where Cobra Command. That's where Cobra Commander, not Commander, but the he is the commander, but he took over for Cobra Commander.
You talking about Serpentor?
Yes, Serpentor.
Yeah.
And they had to go to Cobra La.
Yeah.
And like that's where you get the.
I was a man. I was a man.
That was a great movie.
And what is it? Roadblock that like.
Yeah, Roadblocks. Yeah, had to scare him around the whole time. Yes, absolutely.
Dude,
I like this
terrible
because
movie.
it feels like I'm just listening to an episode of Geek Out Loud right now.
Okay, we're gonna switch this up. I'm gonna interrupt this. We're gonna switch. We're gonna start talking some Star Wars. We're gonna talk some. Yeah, that's right, Alfie. I was hoping Alfie would be on here because we're gonna play a game. I think that's what I think we're gonna do. With
you know what? I'm sorry. Mikey had done research and prep.
Look, I don't know if you guys do, but I've got World Cup fever, so it got me thinking. It got me thinking about like sports and stuff, and so sports in Star Wars. So I've got a list here, and this is canon Star Wars only. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What do we call in canon?
Well, something that isn't Legends. No, anything GL canon, like anything Disney can. It's all the stuff that's actually
video
canon,
games canon.
I've got 8 sports here. 8 sports that take place in Star Wars.
Okay.
I want to see how many that we can actually. I want to see.
Alfie.
Are we in your Discord all of a sudden?
Yeah, I know. Gosh, Alfie.
I've got 8 Star Wars sports. I'll
Okay.
give you a hint. They're mostly racing, but
Well,
they
yeah.
all have different names. There's a couple that aren't racing. So, I mean, the obvious one that I'll start us off
So
with.
what are we saying where we see these in the Star Wars saga?
No, just
or-
name the sport and it
Oh, okay.
bonus point if you can name where it is. So
Wow.
the one that everybody knows obviously is pod racing, Phantom Menace, and
Sure.
other places. So I want to see how many more we can get. Star Wars canon. Just start naming them. I've got 7 left now that I named pod racing.
Oh,
There-
so you're saying we
There
need
was a
more-
robot football in Attack of the Clones.
Boom,
but I don't
that's
know the
number
name
two.
of it.
Oh, so we're just naming things now.
Droid football. No, well, we never know what the name of the sport
I
is,
thought
but
no,
droid
I
football.
thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to describe it, and then that we were supposed
Right.
to
You
name.
Name.
gotta name the sports.
I didn't realize.
I did
okay,
describe
I
it.
didn't realize we were.
Most of them are racing. I said
Right.
most of them
Oh.
are type of racing.
Bad Batch. They had a version
What's it
of
called,
pod
though?
racing.
What was it called though? Yeah, see, if Alfie was
Smash racing. I don't know.
you're actually close. It was Riot Racing.
Riot racing.
Oh, that's right. It was
and
the
that was in
and,
Bad
episode-
Batch.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Alfie got the pod, but we're more We've gotten to like level 2 here, where this is like level 2 Star Wars nerddom.
Steve, you haven't seen this yet, but there's basically a Star Wars lacrosse / highlight in Mall that
What
his
was it
son
called?
plays. I have it written down because I pulled it up for a
Right.
show.
You guys talked about it for a show. It's
Yes,
Bodkin.
Bodkin.
Bodkin, yeah, that's out of the that's out of some of the EU stuff from back in the
Well,
day.
yeah, but now it's canon because they did
Right,
bring it
right.
into.
No, I'm saying that's
Shadow Lord.
interesting because I
Yeah,
remember that
yeah.
being out of the.
The rest of them are all different types of racing.
I got to hear that.
Okay.
Well, there was
well,
racing in
it was-
Resistance. There was Star Wars
Yes.
Resistance.
Yep. What was it? And they
Oh,
lamely
was
just
stick
called it
racing.
air
It was
racing.
like a pilot racing.
They just called it air racing. That's all they
yeah,
called it.
Okay.
Powerball
in
and
Resistance.
Jaeger. Jaeger
Is
was
is Dejarik considered?
No, that's not a sport.
No.
That's not
Okay.
a sport.
Well,
We've got from The Last Jedi, obviously, when they were on Canto Bite.
oh yeah, the
Oh, those
man
little
face
Fathier-
camel. the man
Fathier
face-
racing.
No, they're called
Oh.
man face camel dogs.
Oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah,
They're called
yeah.
the Fathier race.
Is that
And the other ones
is
are
that the
kinda-
He-Man name for them? Is that the He-Man name for them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that would be
The
a
other ones are
He-Man name.
so like obscure. This one is canon. It was in a Star Wars comic. Swoop Racing was one of them.
I was going to say swoop racing from Shadows of the Empire.
Well, yeah,
What
but
is it?
this was actually they actually canonized that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the
Hey,
last
Shadows of the
one.
Empire was canon.
Well,
It was.
It was at
Okay.
the time.
it was at the time. I don't know. I'd like it to be canon still because I do like.
Alfie's bringing one up. Grav Ball.
But what was that in, Alfie? I thought about that, but I couldn't find that in canon.
I remember that name, but I don't know where it is in
Maybe
canon
is
either.
that what the droids were doing in Attack of the Clone? Maybe they were doing Grav Ball. I don't know.
I thought Grab Ball was kind of like the Battlestar Galactica game they played inside. Do you remember that where they would dunk a ball through a hole
Yeah.
in a stadium?
The only other one is very similar to what I would think air racing is, but in Bloodlines, Han Solo was a manager of Starship Racing.
Okay.
That was like what he remember in Blood. That was a great book, by the way, Bloodlines.
Oh, Lord.
And that does give me a segue because I'm trying to like reignite my Star Wars fandom a little bit, and
Mhm.
I was way behind on books. And I just read a great Batman books called Batman Resurrection
Absolutely.
that John Jackson
Absolutely.
Miller
John
wrote.
Jackson Miller.
So I
Hey,
picked
you've
up.
got to
I
do the
picked up
follow up.
this. I know.
Mhm.
I'm on this right now though. I'm reading The Living Force because I'm behind on Star Wars books. And John Jackson Miller is one of my favorite authors of sci-fi and fantasy stuff. And it's
We can
great.
have him on.
I'm-
He's been a guest 2 or 3 times on the
I
show.
know.
We can get him
He
on and
is-
talk that
he is-
Batman.
that Batman was so good.
Dude,
Um,
that
The follow up.
happened.
The follow up's even better.
That's what I hear, and I want to finish Living Force first, and then I'm going to go to that second Batman.
Okay.
But yeah, and so I've bought a bunch of Star Wars. I have all the hardcovers of all the recent stuff because I'm also trying to get back into sitting in a chair and reading. And again, like pulling out my age, it's hard because I get tired. My lids get really tired when I start trying to sit and read a book. So I have to have a cup of coffee in the afternoon after I get off work. So because I get off work and then I walk to a chair that I bought and I turn on a book light so I can sit and hold the book in my hand and try and read the thing. Because I have found, like, with audiobooks, I don't retain them as well. I mean, I just don't retain the information as well. And reading that Batman Resurrection book and holding it was just, I don't know, it's great. I love I'm trying to get back into reading.
So I will throw this in because it's something I'm in a renaissance stage of that as well.
Nice.
And my wife has got me reading some other books outside of Star Wars. Weren't they playing Grab Ball?
Oh, I don't know anything. High Republic's not in my canon.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's got me back into reading books, but because this year is the 30th anniversary of Shadows of the Empire,
yes,
I reread that.
I need to pick that up and reread that.
So to go along with that, I saw those updated releases of the 6-inch Black Series figures of Jason and Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
And my son Joey collects all Solo characters. So I sent him that and he was like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? And so I said, oh, Joey, if you really want to get in the down and dirty of this, I said, they were in novels galore, and some of them were some of my favorite Star Wars novels. So he said, can you pull that up? Well, I pulled up the list, and I sent them to him. And he just wrote back, he goes, that is a lot of books.
Yeah, there was a lot.
But that character growth of Jason, Jaina, Anakin, and Ben was some of my favorite Star Wars. I loved all those books. So, but yeah, I'm trying to get back into it just like you. So that's great.
But I need lots of caffeine, I'm finding, to make so I don't fall asleep in this chair. I shouldn't have bought a lazy boy. That was the problem. Like, I should have bought, like, the most uncomfortable chair I could have found to make me, like, stay awake because my back would hurt so bad I was sitting in it. Instead, I bought a lazy boy and I fall asleep. But afternoon coffee seems to be helping.
I get you.
I have one other, like,
go ahead.
The only other thing that I prepared is just random. And I wanted to talk about it when Steve was talking about one thing. He was talking about fanfic. Do you guys remember the name Allie Hazelwood? So
I don't remember that name at all.
I don't.
In 2021, she wrote a book called The Love Hypothesis. And in interviews, she said that originally it was a Rey and Kylo romance fanfic. You remember? Yeah.
Yes.
So the movie version, the movie based on the book, is coming out in September on Amazon Prime.
But it's not Kylo and Rey.
It's not, but that's what, when she was writing it, she was basically feeling like it was a Rey and Kylo fanfic. It was a big deal in 2021 when she was writing. Yes, the Rayla, exactly, Alfie. So the movie's actually coming out. It's direct to Amazon Prime on September 23rd. So if you want to see this version and think to yourself, this should have been Rey and Kylo, if you're into that type of thing, that movie is coming out. So that's a little movie news with Star Wars connection a little bit.
Interesting.
Another thing I've got to say, House of the Dragon. Matt Smith in that most recent episode made me so hyped for Starfighter because he's the villain in it.
Good.
And I am freaking so ready for Starfighter to come out next year. Next year is going to be the year of Star Wars in so many ways. What's up, Squatch?
Dude,
Squatch technically needs to be part of the Southern Rim, you know.
Yes, he does.
He's in the best state in the Southern Union, Alabama.
Oh, I thought you meant Georgia.
Dr. Squatch, one of our favorites.
Yeah, he is awesome. I miss him being on the show. He needs to jump on here more often.
They call me Dr. Squatch.
I can't. Oh, Alfie, talking about Matt Smith. So, hey,
dude, yeah,
that's one of the things that I had as a quick little memo. Amy Adams.
What do we think?
She came out and said her role is small in this. And I'm hearing it's small enough to where she's in some of the opening scenes. She dies. That's it. She's out of the movie. I mean, that's
Amy Adams is in
Starfighter.
Wow.
That's what. So, I know you're right, Alfie.
I don't want that to be, but I'm just saying that's what I heard through the.
As much as I would love it, and Alfie, I love you to death, brother. But the Discord stuff talking about how it would be so easy for her to be Mara Jade. They're just not going to do it. They're not. It's unfortunate. I think they should. I totally agree with Alfie.
Well,
and I think they should. And that would bring. They don't understand how much fandom that would bring back from the people that they've lost.
Would they? Would it though? I mean, it depends on what they. It depends on what Mara Jade we're getting. Are we getting just some? Well, are we getting a redhead that just happens?
Hand. It's not going to be Emperor's Hand Mara Jade,
right?
But
mean, if you're getting, but here's the thing: you can't really have Mara Jade without Luke Skywalker. And
well, they would tie that together somehow. I mean,
and it's been made clear,
yeah,
that this isn't going to have anything to do with the Skywalkers. We're not going to see even the hint of legacy. No,
they could swerve that.
That's what I just saw something just the other day or just yesterday, I think, where dude was saying it.
Well, no, I mean, I think that they still could do that. They could make this kid some relation to the Skywalkers, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily need that. I think that the cast and the director and everything involved with that film is talented enough. It doesn't matter what they're going to do. It's going to be good. So
do you think it's going to get released?
What? The movie?
Starfighter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's done. It's in the can.
Yeah. That's what they
say. Post-production right now.
No, listen, what are you talking about?
Listen, when it comes to Star Wars, comes to Star Wars projects, I'll believe it.
This is different. This is very different. This isn't going to be a Batgirl situation where they scrap it. No, no. It's done. It's in the can. It's in post. It's coming out next year for sure. Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah. Well,
no, it is. I would stake Geek Out Loud podcast on that. Like, never coming back. If I'm wrong, you have to come back. No, I'm just kidding.
Now
do we know who that is?
No, I don't. Thanks. Fight them till I don't know. Good enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for jumping in.
Love it.
Yeah.
See, here's what Steve doesn't understand. If Steve would have taken the time to put in his Discord that he was going to be on this show, your live would be crazy right now with his acolytes. And I use that word specifically.
We've actually, I've had a few people reach out to me recently, new subscribers, new followers who have said, "Hey, I listened to the most recent Steve Glosson Scott Rifen show," and they're like, hearing them together.
Yeah,
I had to come and listen to that, and they're like, "Now I'm subscribed to you."
Well, that's great. I'm glad we can help you out.
Does it bring warm feelings to my heart? Is that isn't that the Yoda comment?
Yes, he says, "Seeing you alive brings warm feelings
to my heart."
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm just making a joke because there's so many canceled projects over the years.
Oh, no, I know. No, you're right. I mean, there's been more canceled than not.
Right. Well, there are two things that I had down that must talk about. Do it. Must topics. One, I did want to touch base a little bit. I'm kind of in the Shadows of the Empire realm right now, and it's the 30-year anniversary.
That's what I got up to show you. Look at this.
I just finished reading the book.
Oh, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack. Yes.
Yeah.
Very good soundtrack. I just want to hear people's thoughts and everything about it, because to me, just like Thrawn series coming out, this coming out were two things that really just rekindled my passion and love for Star Wars. You know, right in those early to mid 90s, it was like these things right here, even without a movie. The movie without a movie still got me worked up. The book, the figures, the comics. Yeah. I didn't play the video game because I'm not a video game person, but I had I've got somewhere the CD. So all that.
It's wild to me.
Go ahead.
They had the blueprint with Shadows of the Empire, and they should have done the exact same thing with High Republic and made it like a multimedia type event. I know that's a very 90s word, but they should have done more than just the books and the comics. They had an opportunity to do something special with High Republic, and I really think they floundered that whole thing.
I was going to say their problems were beyond their way of release with that.
Yeah, but if they could have released some figure, they could have hyped it up like they did. Something.
Well, there's the other thing. There's no synergy anymore in any of the departments.
You're right.
and Hasbro is. Go ahead. I don't want to get off on that because
No,
that,
let's not get
again,
off on that. But let's talk Shadows. Yeah.
But yeah, Shadows, man. Here's the thing too. Also understand in 1996, 30 years ago. My gosh.
It was a long time ago, Steve.
Brent, you were in
Oh.
college then, right? Were you in college then?
96? No, I was still in high school.
I was
High
in
school.
college.
I was in
college.
high school still. Yeah, I was graduating high school in '96.
But in
Wow, we're
1996,
2 years apart there, Michael Nip.
Mhm.
I don't know.
when this came out, when Shadows came out, you got to remember there had been there had been the Thrawn trilogy
Mm-hmm.
and
Re-release of figures.
Dark Empire. The figures, the Force, the Power of the Force 2 stuff was just, it still had not completely blown up on the shelves. I mean, it was going hot and heavy. Star Wars Insider was back with a vengeance. There was a lot of stuff happening, but the ball was rolling, and Star Wars was this was almost the culmination of the relaunch that had been happening since '92 with Heir of the Empire.
Mhm.
Like everything was now happening in a way that had not happened with Star Wars in years. And so that's what made this so special. And they did it in such a way that unless you read the liner to the CD, which by the way, I just pulled out, and I don't know how I was ever able to read print that small. But unless you read
Geriatric Star Wars podcast.
unless you read like the liner on the CD or interviews in Star Wars Insider or something.
Right.
The whole idea of releasing a movie with everything but the movie, that comes from the promotional material with some of this stuff.
Mhm.
That if you didn't know better, you'd have thought, are they releasing another movie?
Right.
Because
exactly.
there was never any Heir to the Empire branding on any toys. There was never any Dark Force Rising or Last Command. You didn't get the Jedi Academy trilogy branding on anything, though that was a great little trilogy of books, by Kevin J. Anderson. But when this hit, man, when you walk into
So awesome.
Camelot or FYE or
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
wherever you bought your CDs back in the day,
Walter?
and you see the soundtrack to a book that you just bought,
Mhm.
that's amazing. And then the thing about this is it was also a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you could put it in and there was like
Another very 90s word.
artwork
Theme.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I love this soundtrack a lot. The whole track. Let me get where I can actually see. The Night Skies track number 8 that has the Imperial March and the Force theme kind of going back and forth because it's when Luke is on Coruscant
yes.
and he and Vader kind of force sensing each other, trying to not feel each other out and everything. Oh,
So I wrote some
And
notes.
not to mention the video game tie-in also. I mean,
Yeah.
Video game
they
tie-in,
went
yeah.
all. I mean,
I wrote some notes because I went back and listened to each track by track, and there was a mixture of Harry Potter feel, Nightmare Before Christmas feel, and Indiana Jones feel in some
Yeah.
of these songs.
Yeah.
And then before we ever got to the Phantom Menace, there were 2 songs that had very much the vocals. We weren't used to the vocals in John Williams, right? But like when you get to the mall scene and you've got Duel of the Fates,
mhm.
there were 2 different songs that had vocals like that in the background.
Yeah.
That I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This was 1996.
Yeah.
And it
that,
didn't
well,
even-
that was, you think about that was unlocked by Jedi. They had the chorus in Jedi with the Emperor's theme playing and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And as Luke was building up and taking down Vader on the Death Star, that choir kicks in. But yeah, and the thing is, Joe McNeely, and I don't know what else Joel McNeely, excuse me. I don't know what else he's done. I haven't looked him up, but he did such a good job of giving us a John Williams score, that was like, Kevin Kiner is good. Kevin Kiner did great things on Clone Wars and
still does.
and Rebels and still does. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Kiner's great, but they did so much experimentation early on in the Clone Wars that you didn't get a lot of that John Williams feel for a minute until they finally decided to ape a line from Jimmy Mack until they decided Williams is the oxygen of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so, but they knew that back then in 1996. It was such a different time too. There were no prequels. There were not even special editions. All we had were 3 movies, some comics, a couple of Ewok specials, droids and Ewoks cartoons where everyone was trying to forget. If you knew about the West End games,
Yeah.
the role-playing stuff, you had
Well,
that.
That was
But
big
then
too,
you-
though. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about those though. Like those
No.
were off my radar for
Those
years
were
and
big.
years and years.
Those were big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I didn't know about those. So there was a lot of backstory that I didn't get on people because I never. And so to have these things out there, to have Shadows of the Empire out there, and then you're going to the toy aisle and you're seeing the toys for this. You're seeing the, it was such a good thing. But anyhow, all we had was that. So
Yeah.
there was no one was going to experiment with Star Wars music. It was meant to sound as though John Williams had composed this, And so Joel McNeely is kind of the Alexander Courage of the Star Wars universe. Look up Alexander Courage, everybody.
No, that's good. That's a good.
The other thing that I really liked was, I don't know, I can't place any other Star Wars books like this one to where you were seeing scenes of Empire Strikes Back and going into Jedi from a different angle and perspective until we got to Lost Stars,
Right.
where they were going, oh, you see that over there? Now you're seeing it from this angle, but it's the same thing you just saw.
Which one was Lost Stars?
The
The
Young
kids.
Lovers.
The Young
yeah.
Lovers, yeah. Claudia Gray.
They went through the
Wrote it.
entire original trilogy together.
Oh, this was okay. So this was like in the Disney
Mhm.
Correct.
era. Okay.
Correct.
It actually was a good
Plagueis-
book.
It is a great,
Plagueis did that.
yeah.
On Plagueis,
Yes.
you
Yes.
see the conversation that they're having, that Maul and
Mhm.
Palpatine are having in episode 1 out on the terrace there on Coruscant. You see that happening. So that's all happening as episode 1 is taking place. So yeah, was that a John Jackson Miller?
Pelagus. No, I don't think he wrote
No,
that.
James Luceno.
Yeah,
James Luceno. John Jackson Miller did Kenobi.
he
Yes.
did, and it's great. They should have
One of
just
my
freaking made
favorites.
the series or
just
movie
make
off
that.
of that.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
don't know why they didn't.
Brent, so you were in high school, and I know I remember talking to you about your different fandom at times. So we obviously, the three of us, paid attention to Shadows of the Empire. Did it even cross your radar?
No.
Nope.
No.
No,
Okay.
you guys talk about it, and you guys say all of these things, and I vaguely remember a video game, but it was on the Super Nintendo, and I was
Yeah.
playing PlayStation at the time, and I don't remember getting it for the PlayStation. I do.
I don't
I don't
I
think
don't know that it was on
I don't
PlayStation.
think
It was
it
on
ever made
it was on N64.
Yeah, so I didn't own an N64. I remember going to a friend's house, and the first level was Hoth, and it
Yeah.
was ridiculously hard to try to
Yep.
take down those walkers.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
we never really got past that because it was ridiculously hard to get past it.
Yeah. It
So
was.
that is all I remember from any of all of this that you've been talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Wow. Sorry.
No,
But you know, like when somebody says Dash Rendar or Prince Zizor, I mean, like
I would have.
You got the Outrider, Brent.
So this is year, like I said, this is year 5, 6 on this thing. The only I own an Outrider now for terrain purposes, but if you would have told me Dash Rendar and if you would have told me Outrider in 2018, I would have not had an idea of what you are talking about.
I remember
That's
when
wild. It's great.
when Mandalorian the first season was coming out, everybody thought that the comedian, my name's
Bill Burr.
yeah, everybody thought he was Dash Rendar because he had that gun on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, "That's gonna be Dash." Everybody was freaking out because for many years, that's all anybody has ever wanted is Dash Rendar in a movie. That's all people have wanted.
When the truth of the matter is Dash Rendar is just a substitute Han Solo.
Yep.
Sure, of course,
Um,
but I mean, yeah.
I'm not here to besmirch the good name of Shadows of the
Timu
Empire.
Han Solo.
The only I'll let Alfie do it. How about that? I'll let Alfie besmirch it. The other thing they did is like there were comics, Shadows of the
Yeah.
Empire comics
Mhm.
that did not go along with the novel. They weren't adaptations of the novelization.
Right.
They were side stories. And so you saw Boba Fett, what he went through to get Han to Jabba the Hutt. Like it, cool stuff.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Like, I don't know. I was just reading up a little bit of it, and apparently the person that was behind the marketing of the whole thing was a woman named Lucy Audrey Wilson.
Yeah.
Like genius level. The way that and I guess she was more on the publishing side, but still, I mean, she was right there in this whole campaign that they did. And
so you say it's genius level, you say it's a campaign, but I've been talking on a podcast for 5 years, and I told you that I was not aware of it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know why you're not aware of it.
It's okay, Brent. I mean,
it's not a big deal.
I didn't know Masters of the Universe. I didn't know Transformers, and I didn't know G.I. Joe.
I was just like, the only fandom that I really had in the 90s was Star Wars. Like, I was, listening to music and stuff, Pearl Jam, all that jazz. But still, like, as far as like an IP that I was so into and got every single book that came out and comics and all, it was Star Wars for me.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah, so maybe for you it just wasn't Star Wars.
The fact that it was in a book.
Yeah.
So I didn't read the books, and so because I didn't read the book, I saw them. I read the back cover when I walked into Walden Books while my mom was shopping at JCPenney's or Lazarus or whatever, out of defunct Woolworths or whatever you want to call it, the 5 and dime. I walked and read the back of the covers, but I never really bought into anything else other than that. And then I'd go home and I'd watch it when it was on TV or with a recorded version.
So, I mean, with anything, there's always different levels of fandom, and that's cool.
Yep.
Like, I have no idea what the heck Legion is, but I was obsessed with Star Wars: The Tactics when it came out. And all that was Hero Clicks for Star Wars. I loved that junk. And we would have tournaments here in town with that, and that was just a little kiddie thing. I still have all my Star Wars Tactics because no one wants to buy them because they're worthless. but
I love Alfie and Brent, man. They make my day.
So Brent, where was your Star Wars fandom in 1996?
Movies. I have been a visual person from the entire time. So so I would watch anytime the TV movie would come on. Yeah. Anytime something would happen, I would make a quote. I would get maybe a birthday card with Star Wars on it. Right. But I wasn't like, it wasn't something that like.
He wasn't a figures guy.
I've never been obsessed, I guess, is with any of it.
But you did know about the video game, though. So
that's good. That's good. You're doing a podcast
because you were in the video game space.
No. I get this, but I also get it. But like at the same time, like that's come around later in life. But it's not like an obsession. It's just I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the banter, and we just have this in common. And the thing that I find is like fans, like with that Legion community, those 70 guys, they all like will make the stupid quotes when they're moving their Anakin Skywalker. They'll pew pew. They'll say things like. That's awesome. It's standing around those guys, and it's like that is the fandom that's there. But no, I've always, and this is like you can go back and rewatch anything that I've been on. I only really knew the visual world, and not even that. I really didn't get into Clone Wars when it was on. I didn't get into Rebels when it was on. That all has come later, and I love all of them.
Right.
Clone Wars is still not probably on my top, but like just because it's all out of order.
Star Wars Bendham's.
That was you've got to go to.
There's a website. Joe's given it to me. I've watched it
with the chronological stuff. Yeah. Anyhow, did you ever drop into any comics or anything with?
No, not a fan. So there is another game that's out there in this world that I play, and it's called Marvel Crisis Protocol. And there are people that will play it. It's a small sort of skirmish-sized game, but it is all based on Beta Ray Bill. That's a name that
from Marvel, right?
There's Dormammu, which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I know Beta Ray Bill.
Good stuff.
Right. Right. So Joe's like looking at me like I'm crazy. There's Cosmic Ghost Rider. There's Ghost Rider.
Nice. Yeah.
There are you name a lot of these. Mephisto is another one that's a big one.
Yeah.
So these are all characters that are playable in that game, and if you're in the comic world, and in the Marvel world, like that was totally lost on me.
Okay.
In the 90s, it was basically sports, video games, sports, and really just basic television.
Dave
Yeah.
Matthews.
Dave Matthews, I wasn't even a music person, man. Like
he doesn't even listen to soundtracks of the movies. It's so funny. We talk
So
about
you're not a
soundtracks,
music
and he's
guy?
like, I don't know.
That's fine. I mean,
But I think what's really cool is while we've been doing this podcast now for 6 years,
yeah,
one of the things that I see is Brent's knowledge of Star Wars has really grown because all the things he has to read and study
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
the
don't
I was about to
characters that he
say-
plays on Legion.
I couldn't tell the ship
Yeah, when
names.
you
I don't
do-
know any of the ship names.
When you do a game like Legion, you're going to learn that stuff.
You're
know?
deep in
So-
some lore there with Legion. Yeah,
that, and like so X-Wing has a lot of people too.
Mm.
Like so X-Wing had pilots and has ships that I never really
Yeah.
I had never heard of a K-Wing. Fuck, what's a K-Wing? Like there's an E-Wing
There's
in
no
there too.
K-Wing.
I've never seen an E-Wing until I saw it on
See?
and then there's Armada, and Armada has all of the ships as well for those people. So and then the pilots that flew, like Ciena Ree was a character that you could like. I only knew that because I had read
yeah.
Lost Stars because of the show, because of the podcast. But then, like when I was playing it, there was a Ciena Ree, however you pronounce it, who was playing for the Empire, and they also had her boyfriend for the Rebels
Yeah.
as a pilot.
See, you know, like more stuff than I do, and I
Yeah,
read all the books. I don't know,
Absolutely, yeah.
like all that Legion stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of that.
So Joel McNeely, yes, Yoda has a theme song.
No, I'm telling you,
Is that what you said?
I would not be able to tell you what the Yoda theme song is because we'll go back to Mandalorian season 2 when Moff Gideon had him in the jail cell, and when somebody was going to get him out of the jail cell, or when Moff walked into the jail cell, Alfie or somebody said, "Did anybody hear Yoda's theme song?" I said, "Yoda has a theme song."
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because like,
All right. So
Go
so
ahead.
Joel
Joel
McNeely had he started in '86 with some TV work on a show called Black's Magic. I vaguely remember that and seeing who's in it and everything. But he did a TV movie. He was composed music for a TV movie, Splash 2, TOO,
Of
a
course.
follow-up to the successful Splash.
Okay.
He composed the music for Our House, the Wilford Brimley vehicle
Mhm.
in the late '80s.
Wilford Brimley, Star Wars Connection.
Yeah,
Yep.
Parent Trap
Walking
3.
Moose.
Parent Trap
Okay.
3.
The direct to Disney channel. Yeah.
Absolutely. He did 2 episodes of The Wonder Years. The Wonder Years,
Oh,
ladies
nice.
and gentlemen.
Okay.
A fun movie. Looks like Parent Trap Hawaiian Honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
He jumped on The Magical World of Disney. 4
Okay.
episodes he did of that. Let me just Tiny Toon Adventures.
Oh,
Did
nice.
some
I like
music for
that
Tiny
one.
Toon Adventures.
Yeah.
Did some music for Darkwing Duck.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Oh,
love
cool.
Darkwing Duck.
Police Story 3, Super Cop. He did 9 episodes of the Young
Jack
Indiana Jones Chronicles.
There you go.
There's our
So there's his
connection.
Lucasfilm tie-in.
Hold on, it gets better, and you'll
Oh.
appreciate this, Mikey. He was the composer of the score to the Charlie Sheen vehicle Terminal Velocity,
Oh, nice. That's
and
a good movie.
and
Not really good, but
Radioland Murders.
oh, another
Really?
Lucasfilm tie-in. Okay.
Absolutely.
I saw that in theaters when I lived in Portland. I went and saw that movie.
And so just before he did Shadows of the Empire, he did the music for the film adaptation of the television show Flipper.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Since then, Joel McNeely composed the music for Vegas Vacation.
Oh.
I'm skipping through.
Well, good.
some
I'm
of
glad
his-
the guy kept
some of
working.
his-
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Seems like he had a good
Avengers,
career.
not Marvel's The Avengers, but The Avengers with Uma Thurman and
Sean Connery. Yeah. Based on the
And-
British television show.
That's right. And a lot of young Indiana Jones stuff
That's cool.
throughout the '90s. There was
I would
something else
love that to come out on 4K, like physical media 4K of all those young Indiana Jones. I would love that, man.
Yeah. He did a lot of Tinkerbell movies.
Okay.
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh yeah, Seth,
Really?
Seth
Yeah,
MacFarlane
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
He composed for the TV series, the very good TV series, The Orville.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's Star
so
Trek
he's-
knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah, and
More
of
Seth
course,
MacFarlane.
the television series Ted and American Dad. So he's obviously
Okay, so
tied
he's
in with
Seth
Seth
MacFarlane,
MacFarlane. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, whatever pays the bills.
Seth probably was a big Shadows of the Empire fan, probably, or young Indiana Jones fan.
Yeah,
brought him
I would
over.
love to think that about him, but he's a big Trekker. I would
Yeah.
love to. Yeah, he loves the Star Trek. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Wrath of Khan, one of the best movies ever made.
Come
Real
on,
quick
man.
before we go into
Come
the,
on, man.
the one last topic I wanted to talk
Come on.
about. I'm looking at Steve's screen and I'm seeing Frankenberry, Count Chocula,
Yeah.
and I forget the ghost name.
That'd be
Blueberry?
Blueberry. Yeah,
Blueberry, yeah.
So you ordered those. I remember you talking about that on your show that you were going to order those and get them. It looks like you got them.
I'm really excited. I've got to open my Tony the Tiger. I've got a little shelf, a tiny little shelf that's going to be cereal mascots because they've got Fred and
Oh,
Barney from Pebbles
Okay.
that are available for pre-order right now as well. That I'm hoping to get one of these
Do I
days.
have
So
any cereal?
You gonna get a
mascots?
Captain
Oh,
Crunch?
they haven't put one out yet. But
So
if they
who's making
do,
these? Is this a Funko Pop thing?
this is I think Jada Toys did these.
Jade is coming out with a lot of new stuff.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Or maybe
Jada.
Jack's Specific.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
Let me see. I can tell you real quick.
that's wild.
yeah,
But yeah,
Jada did this,
Oh, okay, okay, interesting.
which they've got a lot of these of the Avengers, and they're starting to come out with some Star Wars.
Are those
characters.
die-cast or just plastic?
Yeah, yeah.
They're die-cast.
Die-cast.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Jada Toys did the monster cereals,
Okay.
and I don't know if they did Tony Tiger as well. Yeah, they did Tony Tiger, and I think they may be doing Fred and Barney. But yeah, this is now they also did a Chester Cheetah, but I decided I didn't need to get into
Non-breakfast food items.
Yeah.
I need to stick with
It's a long road.
well,
to go down.
when it comes to snacks and that sort of thing, breakfast cereal is my Star Wars.
There you go.
It's my first
Love
love.
some breakfast cereal.
Golly, man.
So I did want to hit this, and those are gorgeous, and I love that. I can't wait to see the shelf
Those
when
are
it's all
cool.
put together with those. So obviously, you guys have probably all heard or seen the rumors about the new Star Wars plan. The
Are
new
you talking
plan.
about the Kinberg stuff?
Well, but it's where they're looking at building franchise building and legacy characters, put people in bring in viewers and their target audience, and two shows a year, one movie a year, a lot of New Republic era stuff.
Sure.
Still going to do an animation series every year. Star Wars needs to remain special. It needs to be an event.
So let's do something every year.
I know exactly that. That's a little contradictory of what their
I
goal
agree.
is, but I mean,
I
it all
agree.
comes down to if they do something every year and it's good, then it works. But if they just are just putting something out there just to say they're putting something out there, I mean that kind of what they did with Mando and Grogu. I mean, it's not a bad film, but it was almost like they were afraid not to have something in theaters because it had been 7 years, and they were like, we can't wait till Starfighter. We have to put something out. Favreau, you've got 2 years. Go make this real quick. And that's just not that's just not the way it should be.
I think Steve will agree, and Brent, you might. I think three years between did them well in the past. Don't know where it hurts.
It just has to be good, though.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's all it comes down to. Just make it good.
I think what you're looking at though with that, and I'm sorry, Brent, I see you want to talk, so I should shut up. But I think what you're looking at with that is 3 years in this culture and immediate gratification society. I think they look at it and say that won't work. We've got to have something continually out there to keep it evergreen.
Yep.
When really
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like,
I agree. TikTok world we live in.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, but I'll push back just a little bit because it's been 2 years since we've had House of the Dragon. And my anticipation was just building, and they're delivering. Same can be said for the Batman Part 2. It's been, almost 4 years? And my anticipation, once the cast announcements happened, my anticipation continues to build for that. And I don't think about the fact that there's been 4 years in between. I just am excited about what they're going to give us. I just worry, like, if they're trying to push something out on an annual basis, that it's just going to be a law of diminishing returns on the quality of it.
Is that a preconceived notion, and are you going into it with that as your a self-fulfilling prophecy if you have that mindset?
Possibly, but also it would be pretty impressive for them. Like, they would have already had to start something now to have it ready for 2028.
Correct.
And they haven't. So this annual thing that they're trying to do is just, they're just trying to blow smoke up the stockholders' butts, basically. I mean, I don't know what they're doing.
And this goes back to what Steve and I are both on the same page: is, are they really going to put Starfighter out there? Is it really going to happen?
That's done. That movie's in the can. Yes, that movie is coming out.
They told you it's in the can. They told you it's in the can.
Right.
They told you it's in the can. Hey,
I didn't see it. I didn't see Palpatine die, but somehow he returned.
Who directed Solo?
Ron Howard.
Right, but that was after the movie was practically in the can under Lord and Miller.
Look, this is way different than a Lord and Miller situation. This is Sean.
What about Rogue One? Rogue One? I mean, listen, I know, dude. Basically, he was real nice to him about
Garrett
letting
Edwards.
them take. Yeah, Garrett. He was really good about them taking
You mean
over.
Tony
from
Gilroy,
him.
the savior of Star Wars?
Absolutely, but what I'm saying is, it's like
That's what he is. No.
Under Disney, Lucasfilm has been just ridiculous with the way they do things. Unfortunately,
Knee jerk.
until you get the big boys in the room and the grown-ups in the room, like a Favreau, like a Filoni,
I think they've got that now. I think they've got
I
the
hope
right
so.
set in place.
I hope so. But I just don't know that you're going to see something every year, and I don't know that you need to necessarily.
I don't think you need to, but
I think their mentality is the short attention span mentality. Like, Mikey, the reason you can build anticipation for something after 2 years or 4 years is because, well, you know what?
I'm used to that. Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I get it.
You've grown up that way.
I mean, you go back,
but also Gen Z, and I think that we can see that this year more than anything. Gen Z wants something different in theaters that they've never seen before, and that's why Obsession and Backrooms has done so well compared to existing IP that's been released that has not fared as well, like Supergirl and Masters of the Universe and Mando and Grogu. None of that has fared very well financially because Gen Z wants something different. They're not just going to flock to theaters just because it says Star Wars anymore.
Go ahead, Brent.
I don't know if they necessarily. I can't even remember what I was going to say. It's not that they want something different, but I can't forget it. Go on. If it comes to me, it comes to me.
But here's the thing too, and I'll defer to the great Riley Blanton, formerly of the Star Wars Report, now of Geeky Stoics.
Yeah.
Riley Blanton did a great piece on the marketing ridiculousness of what they did with Mando and Grogu, and just how there was no direction really to the marketing. Like there were cute things that they did to have the property out there, but you didn't really know what it was. You know, one of the things I enjoy doing sometimes is looking at old movie trailers. And by old, just for Brent's sake, I mean all the way back to like the 70s and 80s is about as far back as you go. But even if you go back into like the 60s and stuff, these trailers used to be like, here is the movie that's happening, and here is the plot of this movie that we want you to come see. And here's this. Well, as time has gone on and attention spans have shortened, we get a 45-second to a minute teaser, 90-second teaser that just kind of gives you the emotional sting that you want. And then when they release the trailer, a lot of times nowadays it's just an extended a teaser. You're not getting story. You're not getting a synopsis. You're not getting to understand what's happening. You're just getting emotional moments and visual elements.
Well, I hate to say this about Mando and Grogu, but it's almost because it didn't have much of a story.
Well, there you go.
So they really didn't have much trailer to work with there.
I think,
Brent, do you remember what you were going to say?
It kind of came back, but I think the era of the nerd driving culture is over. And I would say that I think that I said this on another podcast. I want to see how you react to it and respond to it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think that Big Bang Theory being out of the zeitgeist has made the nerd fandom a little bit less desirable, and it's not in the Gen Z world. The second thing I will say is watching trailers is hard nowadays too. All of this comes into the world that we are splintered in our entertainment.
Mm.
And I will tell you the number of times that I've watched local news, I can count on one hand over the last 3 years.
Oh,
I
well,
haven't
right,
watched
right.
local news.
Yeah.
I haven't sat down at the television to watch a television show for appointment television in probably 5 years.
What about sporting events, though?
Mhm.
I will go to a sports bar or go to Red Zone for football because it allows me to watch multiple games at the same time. And
Yeah.
anytime a commercial comes on, I'm looking at
You
another
tune
game.
out. I hear you. Well, that's fair.
So I will say that what they have to do, and what Steve is saying is what they have to do for people of my, and I'm younger than you guys, but for people even younger than me, making YouTube videos, when you make an edit, they will tell you, Google will tell you, you have 3 minutes, or not even 3 minutes, sorry. For a 3-minute video, you're probably going to get somebody to watch it for 2 minutes, and you have 15 seconds to catch them. You have 15 seconds to catch them, and then they'll probably watch it for 2 minutes and then jump out on a 3-minute video.
I will say, just, and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I will say that if you look at the current demographic of who's going to movie theaters, it is Gen Z more than our generation and the generation older than us. I mean, Gen Z and millennials to some extent, but even millennials not as much anymore. But Gen Z and Gen Alpha are the ones that are like going to the movies, and they're not afraid of long form content like people think they are. Like everybody thinks, oh, this is the TikTok generation. Well, I mean, these people are going like,
but they're not going in the same numbers. They're not going in the same numbers that they used to.
They're getting close, though. We're getting close to pre-pandemic numbers. We're getting close to pre-pandemic numbers as far as box office. And I mean, people like my daughter's age, like 16, they're going multiple times to see Obsession and Backrooms and stuff. Like they're not just going once. Like their fandom is a little bit different than us. I would still call it some type of like nerd fandom, because this is content that these are creators from YouTube, and to them, they're nerding out about these creators that they followed on YouTube going into theatrical movies and stuff like that. So their fandom's a little bit different.
Right. And what I mean by the nerd culture is I mean like the superhero, the bit like what you see on
and that's
Big
true.
Bang.
I think you're right about that. I think that is changing.
On Big Bang Theory, like the comic book, the nerd,
right.
the superhero, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, those types of things don't hold the zeitgeist for a lot of people anymore.
Yeah, that's true, Alpha. No, I agree. I mean, I think that there is still a huge fandom in like the video game space for that age group. So, I mean, we've got like a Death Stranding movie that's coming out that's probably going to be huge. I mean, there are like video game movies that are somewhat taking the place of comic book movies in a way.
And then, so the other part too is like you have the Minecraft movie, which blew up, but that was so everybody could be part of a meme, right? So like that meme culture takes over, and there were there were a lot of people that wanted to do the chicken jockey, and it was just they would go just to do the chicken jockey and go crazy at chicken jockey to be part of that meme.
Yeah. And we're getting a second movie, and it's going to be huge. I mean, you know, and Super Mario Galaxy movie just made $1 billion again.
It did,
so
right.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I think video games have somewhat taken the spot from,
possibly,
but also, there's always been a solid market when it comes to kid and family movies. You know, like that may not always be the most quality, but there's always been a solid market because parents love to take their kids to the movies, you know, as an easy way to kind of do something for a couple of hours, you know, especially in the summer, you know, inside. The two that you keep coming back to, Backroom and Obsession,
they
kind of have
the most recent. Yeah,
they kind of have that. I know they don't have the same budget as a Paranormal Activity did, but they kind of have that same that feel of like, aren't they kind of? They're almost a horror genre. They're not. I guess they'd be more like thrillers.
Blair Witch Project.
They're low. They're low budget.
But they're more like, so those type of movies also always have some success, it seems like, because they kind of come out of nowhere. And you can't always do that. But
Yeah.
you go back to the 90s. I agree with you, Brent. I think that the superhero movie, the Star Wars, the any of these franchise movies are losing their luster with people because the price of admission is so high anymore. As far as what do I need to know to sit down and watch this movie? You have to, everyone feels like they have to come to the table with a certain amount of knowledge or they're going to be lost. And then if you say, oh no, this Superman's a reboot, it's not the same one, then people are immediately turned off to that because
this is a standalone.
Right. They don't like having to be reintroduced to a character again and again and again.
Yeah.
There's fatigue in the market for the franchise stuff. But but it's also gone are the days. Maybe we're coming back to them with some of these creators that you just mentioned, Mikey, like that are doing things like these guys that, these YouTubers and stuff. But in the 90s, you had that independent filmmaker spirit, not just Kevin Smith, but like there were a lot of movies that cropped up and became big hits because of word of mouth, because it was something new, it was something different, it was something, that no one had really seen, or a story that was engaging. And then, there are movies that stood the test of time because they might not have done great in the box office, but everybody's seen Shawshank Redemption because it was on every time you turn on the TV for about 25 years.
Yeah, and they don't have that option anymore because nobody watches cable anymore.
Right. And so it's just like what Brent was saying. So, I know we're back to pre-pandemic numbers. I think
we're close. We're not quite there, but we're close.
I think the movie that's going to really tell the tale is going to be Spider-Man.
It's going to do very well.
I think it will. But I think that then you have to say, well, why is it going to do well? Why does Spider-Man hit when Fantastic Four did not? Why will Spider-Man hit when Superman did not hit as big? No matter what people say about Superman, and I enjoyed Superman last year, but no matter what people say about it, it did not hit as big as they hoped it would hit.
No, it did not. You're right.
And so
why Spider-Man is, in all honesty, I think it's like Tom Holland and Zendaya. I mean, I think they are huge in a different way. And that's why you see them out there together doing this press tour, getting ready. I mean, like, they are an online couple that people are obsessed with, and that's going to help that box office explode.
Another thing that hurts box office is and I think it's from our generation at least, so my age and older, is we don't want to pay that cost, and we also know that it's going to be on Amazon Prime or Netflix or within like it's.
I think that hurts
because I remember so we're talking about the 90s when it showed up in the theater, so the Phantom Menace, when it showed up in the theater, it took 9 months to a year to get that DVD out.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and it was a huge thing when it finally made its way to like the rental, and you could go rent it or buy it, right? So that was a big deal, and it took 9 months, and you almost forgot about it by the time it got there. You forgot what you saw, so you wanted to watch it again because you'd forgotten what you saw.
Right.
Now it took 3 weeks.
Hey, it took Phantom Menace a year.
Yeah.
To come out on VHS. Yeah. It wasn't on DVD yet. I remember because I remember
Attack of the Clones wasn't Attack of the Clones like the first one to go to DVD first.
First one DVD first, yeah.
It had a VHS also, but I mean,
right. But I remember me and a buddy went to the store to pick up the Phantom Menace VHS because
absolutely
we were stoked to bring it home and watch it. But it was and I know it was the year after because it came out in '99, and I was in Minnesota in 2000 when it came out, and so I know where I was when I got it. And that's, that you're right. I mean, it used to feel like forever. If you missed a movie in the theater, you just hoped it showed up on the video shelf somewhere.
Now
those windows are expanding a little bit, Brent. I mean, some studios are getting the message. Like Obsession waited. I mean, they just I think today was the digital day. So it was a quite a long time. So studios are trying to play with that number a little bit and expand it again. But it is a frustration. I mean, because it's too quick. I mean, I hate that it's so quick.
It takes away from the theater.
It does.
Yeah,
right?
Totally does.
And like, my daughter's at church camp, and she wants to see 2 movies, and I don't know if Chris will be there by the time she gets done with church camp.
Right.
She wants to see Toy Story 5, and she wants to see Moana live action.
They'll be in there. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's hit or miss whether or not they'll be out already, and then they're already promoting it on Disney Plus, Moana 2 anyway, or Moana live action.
Moana live action.
On Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, I think it's amazing, Brent. You brought it up that, I mean, let's think about it. Movies today have layers of costs that we don't even add in there. The knowledge or the books or the whatever, the past history of like a franchise saying, what do you have to jump into? The cost at the theater itself. And then you're already paying, hey, it's going to come out on this streaming service. I'm already paying for that. So you're looking at different layers of pay that you're going to have to do to see if you're even going to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, mental, physical, going to, all those things come into play of your decision if you're going to go see it. It's crazy.
And if you live where Steve is, it's 4 hours to get to the closest movie theater.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say 30 minutes to get to the nearest movie theater.
You can walk uphill both ways to get to
I know. He's got to go through the snow. And
the snow in July.
It's the snow in 100-degree weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all can laugh all you want to. I'll take the camera and show you outside one of these days. I live on a dirt road in the middle of a cotton field. So,
oh gosh,
it's a true story. I'm not making it up. I don't appreciate the joke. I'm getting kind of mad right now. I'm really angry.
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go half of what a usual Geek Out Loud goes. We're going on 2 hour of time here, and we're not going to do the 4 hour marathon.
I could go for another 2. Let's do this.
I mean, seriously, but I think this is what Ryfin says all the time too. Is like, Joe, we'd be sitting and talking and shouting at clouds, no matter whether we're on camera or not. Like, we could just sit and talk about
exactly.
Yes, we are a Star Wars podcast, but it's all about the industry. It's all about toys. It's all about everything and all the tentacles that have it. So
yeah, of course.
I enjoy talking about all of it. And like,
I do too.
No one knows, right? Like, we all have ideas and speculation, but no one really knows why it is. But it's a struggle.
I mean, obviously it's a conglomerate of factors. Like there's a lot of factors to it. You know, the culture shifted during the pandemic crap, and it took people a while to get back to what they used to do, just for whatever reason. And I don't know how much people realize how much things changed on the back end of that, as far as, our generation and how we do things, because let me tell you something, I'm late on the tree Gen Xer, and as tough and as non-caring as we all are, if there's an easy way, we're going to do the easy way every time. And it is easy to just click on the digital thing. We know about waiting. Yeah. Gen X knows about waiting, so we're willing to wait the extra 3 weeks to get it on digital.
I'm early on the tree millennial, and I'm the same way. Pulled some of that Gen X from that early on the tree millennial.
But that just goes to show you that like all people are different, because I love going to the theater. I mean, that's just like my mecca. Like it's just what I live for every week is going to a movie theater.
I feel like I have to carve out time to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
But I absolutely, when I do carve out the time, I'm like, I need to keep coming, because I absolutely love it as well. Yeah. And I will go on the record, Dave and I have talked about it several times, D-Doc and I, a movie that is a C+.
Okay.
If you watch it in a theater, you're going to walk away from that theater and think it's a B.
Oh, 100%. Totally
agree. Watch it at home, that C+, you're going to walk away from that movie and think it's a D.
Yeah, and probably never think about it again. You're right. No, you're right. Yeah, it's totally true.
I want to make an appeal though to the adults in the room who are sending their children to movie theaters. Teach your kids how to act in a movie theater.
Oh well, that's
I will say this: the last 5 out of 7 times that I was at a movie theater, either I had to get onto a group or someone else did. Yeah, because I'll stand up and tell them be quiet.
Yeah, I don't have that problem in my market for some reason.
And when Big Hoss stands up and says, "Hey guys, let's settle down," and I put my big boy voice on, kids shut up. And the other
I've
day
only had to do that
I forget what we were
twice
watching.
in my life.
We were at a movie.
Yeah.
We went to see Project Hail Mary. When we went to see
Mhm.
Project Hail Mary, there were some kids in the theater just acting a fool, just being
Really?
stupid.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I was literally putting my hands on the armrest to stand up, and the lady directly behind us just shut up and turned around and said, "Hey, what are you here for? We're here to watch a movie. So why don't you all be quiet or just leave?"
That's awesome.
And those kids are like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." And I'm sitting there like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I didn't have to do it
That's
this
so
time. That was
strange.
nice."
I've literally, I've had that happen maybe one time in the last 10 years. So I've been lucky, I think. But because I've heard horror stories in other areas of the same thing. Yeah.
I've gotten up and walked up the steps to the very back row and stood over children, teenagers, and been like, "What are you doing? You're wasting your money or your parents' money. We're here to watch a movie. Stop, just stop, leave." And they'll stop.
I think that you do have to be somewhat strategic about when you go see the movie too. Like I usually go on Thursdays when I know the fan of whatever movie I'm going to see are going to be seeing it. So it's not like,
Alfie doesn't listen to podcasts, so for him to listen and talk.
This is a short podcast, Alfie. What are you talking about? The ones I listen to are long.
Back when Geek Out Loud was a thing, there would be times where I go 4 hours.
I know.
I would love those.
We need some Steve Glosson commercials.
Those are classics.
Sasquatch commercials or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are classics.
Get out of here! I'm gonna get my stick.
Get on up out of here.
I rough talked him and run around that path back there. I said, "Get away from him."
Steve,
he went right back out that path out there.
Steve, all it takes is just hit and record. That's all.
One of my very favorite things that I have still as a recording that Steve sent to me is the Scott Rifen talking about running stuff over during the storm.
Oh my gosh,
that is.
Oh yeah,
when he's like, "Oh, kitty cat, no raccoon," and you hear the bump and the squish, and he goes, "Not anymore."
Has the Rule the Galaxy listenership heard Mandalorian Rain before?
No,
Steve,
I don't think so.
Steve, you've got to remedy that.
My favorite is Gate, by the way.
Oh, listen, when you're just responding to someone and you're just yeah. He tried to bring that up the last time we were on the show together. He tried to start that stuff up. All right, there he goes. Listen.
Scott Rifen voice.
You know what? I was feeling bad for the guy, and then y'all brought all this mess up, and so because they've shut down. I Hate Radio has shut down. Straight Talk and everything. Yeah, so Scott's gonna land on his feet though.
Oh gosh, yes.
He's got a plan. He's ready. Listen. This is a blessing. I'm a blessed man. I just realized how blessed I am. Everybody loves me. I'm the most loved man. I used to be the most listened to man in South Georgia radio. Now I'm the most loved man in South Georgia radio.
Yeah, he'll never hear this, right?
He might.
I tuned in to listen to Glosson. We had a great conversation on the phone the other day, and Glosson's there ripping me apart. What is this about?
Oh man,
we've gone to the deep cuts now.
We have. Well, guys, I am going to cut it short. It's a half marathon.
The Dianoga.
There you go. It's a deep cut. As soon as you said deep cut nip, I didn't want to.
Oh, I know. I was hoping he would go there.
Attenborough is probably the best impersonation.
100 years old, by the way.
And in the
he's
bowels,
still alive.
Yeah.
Oh my
100.
gosh.
And in the bowels of the terrifying Death Star dwells the Dianoga.
Still alive?
Attenborough, Mel Brooks, and Dick Van Dyke all, I think, turned
Mel
100.
Brooks turned 100 this week.
Yeah. And we're going to get Spaceballs 2 coming out next year. Or is that this year? I don't know. It's next year, I think.
Next year. All right. Brent, I'm going to start with you. Close up shop. Anything you got before we break away?
Anytime I get to talk to the South Georgia Mafia and or Alabama Mafia of the Star Wars Mafia, I enjoy it. It is always worth the laughs. Sitting on here is the best escape from the traditional stress world that we all live in. talking about the galaxy far, far away and other things that we are all. I mean, let's face it, we rule the galaxy that we live in. It's our world. You're just living in it. But yeah, thanks guys for coming on. Thanks for having me in here, allowing me to escape and just release that stress of the day and laugh. It's always a great time.
Thanks, Brent. Mr. Nip.
Awesome. Yes. Oh man. First of all, it was really fun. I'm glad that we could finally work out the time to make this happen on a random Tuesday. I'm really honored to be on here. In all honesty, I love any excuse to talk about Star Wars and anything really. I mean, movie wise, comic books, anything. Read a book. That's what I want. Everybody pick up a book and read it instead of listen to it. That's what I want everybody to do. Pick up a book and read it. Cinema Debrief podcast. Yeah, that's a good read too. Cinema Debrief podcast. We release every Monday on whatever podcatcher you want to use. It's only about an hour, so it's like a short podcast generally. And we'll talk about an old movie, and then we talk about the new stuff, and we'll throw in some movie news every once in a while if something big has broken. So yeah, it's fun. Garrison Rifen. It's reinvigorated my love for the medium. I had stopped my other podcast. I was just going to hang it up at that point because what's the point anymore once you hang up that podcast, the first one that you started, that I did for like 15 years almost. But talking to a guy that's like 20 years younger than me about movies and stuff, it's been great. I've really loved doing it, and I'm just glad that he chose me instead of his dad to do a podcast with.
Nice. Okay. His dad loves that too.
I know his dad loves that.
Mr. Glosson, how about you closing up shop?
This is a book that Michael Nip gave me.
Oh, that's right.
In Rome, Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Go to Scott Rifen on YouTube and subscribe and like and make sure that you support him and his new endeavor.
Yeah.
We want to see him just hit the big stuff on YouTube. And I know a lot of people do Facebook. A lot of us oldies do Facebook, but go to YouTube and make sure you're subscribed over there. I think Scott's got some ideas and some plans to try to tackle something pretty big. So go support him, and I know he'd appreciate that. You know what? Thanks for the memories when it comes to Geek Out Loud. We may never be back with that show, but I have tons of ideas. So if anyone wants them, I can sell them to you.
You're more than welcome to reveal those here on Rule the Galaxy. We'd be more than happy to have the Geek Out Loud division of the Rule the Galaxy podcast. But look, Brent, it's been great because we haven't caught up in a while, and we need to catch up in person here in Indy sometime soon. So thank you for being here. Love seeing you and talking to you. Michael Nip, Steve Glosson, two of the favorite guests we have on here, and you guys are great, and it's been so good getting to know you guys over the past so many years and interact with you. So thank you for taking the time to come on here and being a part of this. And I'm going to reach out to Scott Rifen myself and talk to him a little about some ideas and everything. But yeah, I'm wishing him the best with all that stuff going on. But look, you guys, I just come here and I'm kind of like the David Letterman, right? Like I just start throwing questions and letting you guys go. And I think there were times tonight where there were 15 minutes where I didn't talk at a time. And that's great. I like that. Brent and I would sit there and look at each other and be like, let's go. I'm listening to a podcast that I'm actually on. So this is great. So thank you all for being here and doing this. So the listeners, the followers, check it out on YouTube because we had some cool stuff up on YouTube tonight. But as always, go check out the podcast if that's the way you check it out. And just know you're missing some great video that went along with it. But chapter 388, Rule the Galaxy, checking out. And until next time, may the Force be with you.
Is that how you end this thing? May the Force be with you? I didn't know.
It's still going.